Saturn in 8th house. Saturn in 8th house is actually not a very bad placement, but there's a thing about Saturn being in Dusthana houses. People say that Saturn does the best work here, which it does at a spiritual level. But at a material level, this can come with a lot of disappointments because they are what harden you up. So Saturn in the 12th, Saturn in the 6th, Saturn in the 8th, Saturn also in the 3rd, because that's also my malefic house, you know, the 8th from the 8th. Saturn does well in all of these houses, but not before a lot of difficult lessons have been learned. With Saturn in the 8th house, one of the most difficult lessons that the native is expected to master early on in life is that death, rebirth, transformation, and the exigencies of life, the vagaries of life are something that nobody is shielded from. Saturn in 8th house individuals quite often during the Saturn return undergo a massive transformation. And that transformation quite often helps them release major karma. Sometimes in this case, especially, Saturn in the 8th, this could be definitely big karma associated with your in-laws. Especially if you have Saturn retrograde in the 8th, you definitely have a lot of karma associated with your in-laws. If let's say you have Saturn retrograde in Ashwini in the 8th, you could be here in a big way to heal a lot of karma with your in-laws. With with respect to building or creating something with the spouse, with respect to tapping into your personal power. Saturn in the 8th is often going to push you to situations where you have nobody else to care for you, fend for you, protect you, and you just have to rely on yourself, your gut, your ability to just navigate change, navigate unknown circumstances by putting the best foot forward. Quite often, it doesn't have to be that you come from definite financial disadvantages. You could be born in a rich family, but still, maybe some decisions with respect to the family business, with respect to some things within the community that you took that left you all alone. Nobody took your side and you had to just manage that on your own. Because Saturn in the 8th house individual, 8th house is the natural house of the sign of Scorpio. Saturn in the 8th house individual can try their best early on in life to change, to try to change, but that doesn't happen as easily. And when it does happen, it quite often happens, even if it is happening for the best, at a pace that it's difficult for you to adjust to. Okay? When you got Saturn in the 8th, change is something that you struggle with. And because you struggle with change, Saturn's going to put you in circumstances, sometimes happy circumstances, where you have to change. You have to take up a new way of eating, new way of living, new way of maybe even speaking. It's quite possible people with Saturn in the 8th house could change careers in their life and do that suddenly and completely have a different life in different foreign land, in different circumstances as a result of getting married, as a result of something to do with your in-laws, as a result of something to do with your research, something that you want to leave behind in the world. So this could be your best work in any way. But with Saturn in the 8th, you are here to leave behind a legacy. You can try your best. I don't want to do that, man. I just want to get by. I just want to live a good life. That's all I want. That sometimes is what you could naturally want to resort to, because opposite the 8th house is the 2nd house of stability, the natural house of Taurus. It's about taking things slow, enjoying life, chilling out. We'll get there. Screw it. We don't care what people think. So that could be one of the ways that you try to manage this energy. But with 3rd aspect of Saturn on your 10th house and the 10th aspect of Saturn falling on your 5th house, you can't really do that. Why? Because Saturn pushes you by aspecting your 10th and your 5th to work hard, quite often study, go back to school, to improve your personal expression. You're going to have to work on your speech, your writing, your presentation, your reading skills, etc. Maybe it's quite possible that you get a promotion as a result of some circumstance. Maybe get married, move states, and the new place that you get to, they're like, what? You were at the wrong department all along. We're going to put you in this other department and there you're going to shine. And suddenly you have an increase of pay and everything, but now everything's too fast. Now you really have to dig in and put in long hours of work in understanding the documentation, the way of working, the culture, the language and all of that. At the back of your mind, you're like, okay, I'm being paid 2.5 times what I was paid earlier. So I need to put in the effort to do this. Quite often, that can be the trajectory for Saturn in the 8th house. But, you know, when we talk about your life purpose and destiny with this placement, and there was somebody who was commenting on one of these videos that how can you tell about the life purpose and destiny by just looking at one planet influencing one house? You know, like, what good is that? We're not taking everything here. This is just a general idea. We can only make it exacting by studying the nakshatra, by studying the devta, by the placement of the nakshatra lord in the chart. And it's highly nuanced. So you either know it or you don't. Please don't, you know, make stupid comments. Take the time first to understand, acclimatize yourself with what the hell this science is. Now with Saturn in the 8th, for sure, guaranteed, signed, laminated, what I can say, your life purpose and destiny is going to revolve around you being able to become a better person in dealing with the exigencies, dealing with the transformations of life, dealing with situations and circumstances that sort of push you to go down deeper and dig in some extra strength to be able to show up the best. Okay? Now, I like to look at the planetary placements in the chart on the basis of the Placidus house system, but even if you, let's say, are using the whole sign system, use the Chalit chart. The Chalit chart is a more accurate description of where the planetary energies are going to be felt the most. And one of the things that I also wanted to say here that Saturn 8th house people can really benefit a lot from worshipping the mother goddess in any form. I mean, you don't even necessarily have to, let's say, change your religions or your faith. Vedic astrology is a, as I say, behavioral science. You can take knowledge from the Vedas and apply it in your own way. Saturn deals with Shakti worship, especially in the 8th house. Shakti worship, if you read the texts about Shakti, if you read Markandeya Puran, if you read Durga Saptashati, you will, if you read tantric documents, you will see it's written that all mother goddesses, they are the same. It's just different ways of depicting them. So if you have Saturn in the 8th, then having some sort of a mother goddess or a divine feminine angelic form or belief or faith in any way, you know, you could pick up any entity that even you look up to, somebody historical maybe, and try to seek inspiration from that. Saturn in 8th can be a specialist at that. You know, it can show psychologists, it can show psychiatrists, it can show neurosurgeons also, you know, quite often. But there's a lot of psychic energy here, intuitive energy here, which is requiring exploration from your end. A more deeper dive into your subconscious. Your subconscious mind has a huge role to play in your life if you have Saturn in the 8th. I would say, you know, in fact, that is the energy of Saturn in both 8th and the 12th, because also, you know, these are houses of the other realm. We don't quite understand the functionings and workings of the 8th and 12th house completely. We can make some ideas of what it represents, but the 8th and the 12th house, to be very honest, they can never be fully explored. One is in the other dimension. It just finds a place in the chart because you have to indicate one of the houses as everything. You know, if you logically put it, right? You create any kind of system, you have to make room for everything else that is not that. That's what the 12th house is. We say it could be MNCs. We say it could be foreign lands. It could be anything. It could be what you cannot understand. It could be the environment of a submarine. In the same way, the 8th house is mysterious. We can make ideas. It could represent treasures. It could represent, you know, your subconscious. It is definitely about, you know, your spouse and your, in-laws, because it's second from the 7th. 7th house represents relationships. So that's definitely there. But everything else, what is, specific to you is a process that you can only uncover by digging your heels in deeper and taking a stand for the things that you truly feel are associated with what you want to be remembered as. Whenever in doubt, this is the direction that you need to take. Just pick up that this is it. This is what I hold at the highest value. And I want to ensure that, even after I'm gone, it doesn't matter how much money I make, what I do, but this is something that should be associated with my name. Could be anything, whatever that value is, right? Because that value is seen from the second house, right opposite this Saturn. So if you got that figured out, then you will be able to figure out the other aspects pretty easily of its aspect in the 10th and the 5th. Okay? And you'll be able to make the necessary changes and transformations within yourself to be able to show up in the way that you need to show up at your best. Saturn in 8th house can give you a lot of longevity. It can give you, a lot of, hidden knowledge as well, and doesn't necessarily have to be knowledge related to, magic or mantras or tantra and all of that. Hidden knowledge could even be that you just have a knack of finding secrets that other people aren't able to find. You just know how to do the research. Even if, let's say, your language skills are not that great, you just know which links to pull out, where to look, what to find out. Okay, and in doing that, you are going to find quite often a lot of missing pieces of the puzzle of your life that are going to help you move ahead. And every time that you are out of your comfort zone, you are going to discover something new about yourself with Saturn in the 8th. Because 8th house is everything that makes you uncomfortable. That's what it is. With Saturn there, every time you put yourself at some level of discomfort, you understand something new about yourself. Saturn in 8th can, if you are not working with this energy properly, it can give you gynae problems. It can give you depression. It can give you even, schizophrenia, bipolarity, all kinds of things. Sexual dysfunction. Why? Because if there are mental blocks that are being formed, if there is trauma that is accruing as a result of this journey that you must take, and you're not able to make sense of that journey at an intellectual or physical level, but at a spiritual level, you need to take that journey. You need to make that journey. So with time, when that trauma accumulates, it manifests as diseases. So if you have Saturn in the 8th house and life's not really working out for you, okay, one of the first things that you need to do is you need to shift big time, and you need to make some daring changes with respect to your life. I'm not saying just go and quit tomorrow. Like, I won't be working anymore. I just watched a video yesterday. That dude in black shirt said that I should make major changes, so I'm starting with this. No, don't do that. Just understand that having a different hairstyle, trying out a new style of clothes, sort of changing up your wardrobe, changing up your routine, changing up your job, changing up your perfume, changing up your breakfast cereal. All these changes can have a great impact on how you're approaching the challenges of your life. And if you do that, I can guarantee it, you'll be able to make a lot of swift changes, because that is where Saturn in the 8th house shines. All of those difficulties, all of those sudden events, they don't get to you. They just trigger you to do better. They motivate you to do better. Okay? Unlike, let's say, Mars in the 8th, he would be flinging you in front of cars and, showing you how to be a warrior. Don't worry, nothing can kill you. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. But with Saturn in the 8th house, I would say that the biggest lesson is tapping into your personal power, tapping into your inner strength. That is what Saturn in the 8th house is all about. So guys, if you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to this channel so that you can stay abreast of all the wonderful content that I post here. Push the bell icon so that you can be notified every single time I post. If you would like to inquire about my Astro Life Coaching Practitioner Program, where I will be teaching you across 10 lectures, 10 lengthy lectures, the principles of Astro Life Coaching, how to combine the thousands of years of knowledge of the Vedas, of Vedic astrology, of the Upanishads, yoga, and combining it with life coaching techniques, NLP, CBT, etc., personal management. If you'd like to know how to do that to help people, to counsel people, please check out the link given here in the description box. It's going to take you to a website. You can apply for the course, and once I receive your application, it'll go through a selection process, And if you're shortlisted, we're going to reach out to you, and we can just fix up a call, talk about it, and then start. Please don't be perturbed about the selection process, because what happens is there's so many different applications that are coming, and I also want to ensure that right now, according to where you are in life, this is what is the best for you. Okay, that's what my first priority is. So I'm going to communicate the same to you. If I think that, okay, right now is not the best thing for you to do something else. So yeah, keep your mind open for that. See you guys. Take care. Hari Om. Bye bye.